The second impeachment sham that the Democrats have put the American people through, and it's a travesty.
Should the president be removed?
Yes, as soon as possible. The sooner the better.
This is a political show by the Democrats, and it's shameful. We need to be uniting the country, not further dividing it.
House will be in order.
A week to the day, lawmakers were locked down in these very chambers to escape a violent mob incited by the president.
House Resolution 24, impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Many Republicans now framing the move to hold Donald Trump accountable as the singular act that's dividing America, not the president's inflammatory rhetoric or the insurrection itself.
With just 7 days left in President Trump's term, they are fast-tracking impeachment proceedings, a move which will no doubt further divide an already fractured nation.
An already fractured nation, yes, but one made all the more polarized by the events of last Wednesday. And for a man who craves being first, Donald Trump will now become the only president to be impeached not once, but twice. The Democrats today saying the charge, incitement of insurrection, was a slam dunk.
The President of the United States instigated an attempted coup. People died. Everybody should be outraged, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. If this is not an impeachable offense, I don't know what the hell is.
Let's go. 5-5, 5-6, 5-7.
And consider this, there are now more troops guarding the US Capitol than there are in Afghanistan and Syria combined. So great is the fear of further deadly attacks by Trump supporters.
Face shields down, fire.
As they prepared for what looked like war, a small number of senior Republicans said they would join the Democrats this time, unlike the president's first impeachment. And the most senior Republican, the Senator Mitch McConnell, as staunch a Trump ally as they come, in a stunning reversal, let it be known that he too would support impeachment when it comes to the Senate. But others remained defiantly pro-Trump.
Look, this is gamesmanship by Democrats who are trying to hold together a very fragile coalition, I think.
Should he not be held accountable at all, though?
Look, the president did not engage in any impeachable conduct, any censurable conduct. He told people to be peaceful and patriotic.
Well, he called for a peaceful, patriotic event.
But he did also say fight like hell. He did also tell them to march to the Capitol.
When we say fight like hell, we normally don't take that literally.
Many people would say that the president should be held accountable for the events of last week. Should he not be held accountable? He did encourage the rioters to go and fight, didn't he?
No, he did not. No, he did not. And you're putting words in his mouth.
She, the Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who has vowed to carry her Glock handgun around Capitol Hill and was accused of tweeting Nancy Pelosi's whereabouts during the riot last week. Others were less vociferous.
Should the president be removed from office? Should he be held accountable at all, though, in your view? Did the president do nothing wrong? Many people believe, Democrats and Republicans, that he should be removed after what happened. 5 people dead.
And the irony that we were the threatening ones by asking a simple question.
Should he be removed from office?
You have a nice day.
Should the president be held accountable at all?
This is Mark Amity. I've got some folks accosting me in the cannon.
He must go. He is a clear and present danger to the nation that we all love.
Nancy Pelosi, the most senior Democrat in the House, earlier inspected troops outside the Capitol, there to protect her life after threats from rabid Trump supporters. Whether the president's ultimately removed from office or not, high alert against far-right mob attacks now feared the new post-Trump norm.
Nice to have you here, Siobhan. Another day to remember.
Certainly, and what we can say for sure is that within the next few hours, Donald Trump will become the first president to be impeached twice. But what happens next? Will he be convicted and removed in the Senate? Well, a week ago, we would have said that that was very unlikely, Matt, wouldn't we? But now that Mitch McConnell, the top Republican, has had his epiphany, it is perhaps possible that some others may follow suit and follow him. He would need to persuade about 17 other senators to vote for impeachment for Donald Trump to be removed. That would give the crucial 2/3 majority for him to be removed. Either way, we know that that vote will now not happen until after Joe Biden is sworn in as president next week. One final thought on security, Matt. I was in New York for 9/11. I have never seen security like this. There will be 20,000 troops on the streets here next Wednesday when Joe Biden is inaugurated. Can you think of any more fitting a representation for the divisive presidency that has been Donald Trump?
Good point, Siobhan. Thank you very much indeed. Well, joining me now is Richard Painter, who was the chief ethics lawyer under President Bush, but who left the Republican Party in 2018. Mr. Painter, great to have you back on the program. You heard Siobhan Kennedy just now, our Washington correspondent. Do you think that the Republicans will actually, step up to the plate in the Senate and provide those 17 votes without which Donald Trump will not get convicted?
I very much hope they do, and I hope it's a lot more than 17 votes. I was a Republican for 30 years and left the Republican Party because of the conduct of Donald Trump. There's absolutely nothing in this that has to do with being a Republican or a Democrat. What happened on Capitol Hill was sedition. That was an attempt to take over the United States government using violence, force against Capitol Police. A police officer was shot or trampled to death. A protester was shot. It was a violent event, very dangerous conduct here, and President Trump encouraged it. Just listen to his words. And after it was clear that violence had been used, a police officer killed, he said, "We love you. We love you. Go home." He endorsed these people and what they did. This is sedition. He furthermore circulated rumors of a fraud in the election. There was absolutely no fraud in the election. It's simply not true. Right. And he used those lies in order to encourage this conduct. This has nothing to do with being a Democrat or Republican. And if a Democrat had done this, I likewise would have said not only should he be impeached and removed from office, but he should be indicted, criminally charged. This is a very, very serious offense that we're talking about here.
Right. As you outlined the case, that is indeed what many Democrats and even some Republicans are saying. But I ask you again, does that case translate into the sufficient number of votes in the Senate to actually get him convicted? Because that's not what I'm hearing, from people here in the city.
Well, I'm not a member of the United States Senate. That's going to be something the senators have to decide. But if the Republicans care about the future of the Republican Party, which was founded in the Civil War to oppose the sedition from the South, if the Republicans care about their future, they will not back Donald Trump. He's a very dangerous man. Most Republicans did not want him to get the nomination in 2016. They knew he was dangerous. They knew this would happen. They've lost control of both houses of Congress because of his conduct, not because of the party and its position on issues, but because of his conduct. I cannot imagine any intelligent conservative endorsing the conduct of Donald Trump. There's a big, big difference between conservatism and conservative values and fascism and sedition.
But there are a lot of Republicans who knew about Donald Trump. He knew exactly what the score was even before these appalling events last Wednesday. 74 million of them voted for him. So if he is impeached and not convicted in the Senate, to what extent is it a lose-lose because he becomes a political martyr for them?
A lot of those people voted for him are thoroughly disgusted by his conduct. We can have a preference for who wins the presidential election, and we go and we vote. But we all understand that there's a winner and there's a loser. President George W. Bush, who I supported and I worked for, won the presidential election by just winning 400 to 500 votes in Florida, the closest election in history. But when it was decided that he had won, the Democrats stood down. They understood that it would have been unacceptable to riot on Capitol Hill, to engage in this type of conduct. And it's amazing here, where President Biden won by 7 million votes in the popular vote, massive lead in the Electoral College, that these rumors these falsehoods about election fraud would be circulated by the President of the United States, and then people incited to commit violent acts and to march on Capitol Hill, to break into the Capitol. They assaulted police officers. This is not the conduct that takes place in a representative democracy that wants to last.
All right. Got to leave it there. Richard Painter, thank you very much indeed.